It will generally be found that those who know what it is to have been in need and destinations are very much less afraid of it and consequently more inclined to than those who know poverty only by hearsay. People who have been born and bred in good circumstances and are, as a rule, much more careful about the future, more economical, in fact, than those who, by a piece of good luck, have suddenly passed from poverty to wealth. This book is if poverty was not really such a very things as it appears from a distance. The true reason, however, is rather the fact that the man who has something without which he could no more live than he could live without air. Next, we do admit that there are many kind of evils prevailing in the country. Today, corruption, beriberi, and are ramped everywhere, and not only ordinary people but most responsible administrators are also involved in this dirty. It is essential to put an end to these evils, but we want to urge upon our students and young men that this can be done only through constructive activities and not through destructive ones. The fact is that, as far as possible, students should not disrupt their study by involving themselves in the dirty game of politics, etc. Learning and knowledge are the greatest assets of man. By losing them, he will get nothing but only kicks. Even then, if our students and young men have a desire to reform the nation, we are prepared to welcome them with great pleasure and pride. Next, my speech at this meeting may be said have been the first public speech in my life. I went fairly prepared with my subject, which was about observing truthfulness in business. I had always heard the merchants say that truth was not possible in business. I did not think so then, nor do I now. Even today, there are merchant friends who contend that truth is inconsistent with business. Business, they say, is a very practical affair, and truth a matter of religion, and they argue that practical affairs are one thing while religion in quite another. Pure truth, they hold, is out of the question in business. One can speak it only so far as a suitable. I strongly contested the position is my speech and awakened the merchants to a sense of their duty, which was twofold. Their responsibility to be truthful was all the greater in a foreign land because the conduct of a few Indians was the measure of that of the millions of the fellow. Next, Brahman, Brahmacharya means control of the sense in thought, word, and deed. Every day I have been realizing more and more the necessity for restraints of the kind I have detailed above. There is no limit to the possibilities of remunerations, even is there is none to those of brahmacharya. Such brahmacharya is impossible of attainment by limited efforts. For many, it must remain only as an idol, and a sprint after brahmacharya will always be conscious of his will seek out the patience lies in the innermost recess of his heart and will incessantly strive to get rid of them so long as thought is not under complete control of the will. Brahmacharya in its fullness is absent. Involuntary thought is an affection of the mind, and curbing of thought therefore means curbing of the mind, which is even more difficult to curb than the wind. The extents of God within make even control of the mind possible. Let no one think that it is impossible because it is difficult. It is the highest goal, and it is no wonder that the higher effort should be necessary to attain it. Next, the Commission for Scientific and Technical Terminology was set up in the year 1964 in pursuance of a presidential order. The functions assigned to it were determinations of the principles of evaluation of terminology, coordination of the existing terminologies available in Hindi and other Indian language, preparation and publication of approved terminological glossaries, and preparation and publication of university level book and other reference literature, etc. Thus, in essence, the task of the Commission for Scientific and Technical Terminology was to take various measures so that Hindi and other modern Indian language could replace English as media of instruction at a level of higher education within to decided of extensions of Commission for Scientific and Technical Terminology has involved and published more than 4 lakhs for scientific and technical terms, and has published about 1500 books in Hindi either directly or through the Hindi Granth academics, beside about 4,500 titles in other Indian language through state textbook boards. After so much of preparations in his direction, it was quite natural to review the work done so far and find out way mean to remove obstacles, if any, in the way of smooth change over of media of instructions.